What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Whoa, what's happening?
Man, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time.
I tell you what, you know what today is, huh?
I don't know exactly.
It's a great day to be a Jaguar.
It's a great day to
It's
be a
always a great day to
Jaguar.
be a Jaguar. Come on, man, you gotta know that.
Hey, where Reggie went? He'll get back on.
He gonna get back
Yeah,
on. You already know.
yeah, man. Let me see if it's streaming on Twitter, man. We trying to branch out. We trying to branch out. We got Reggie McCoy. He is on. Yeah, he's on there. I think. Let me check. Open live. Yeah, it's on there. We got Reggie McCoy. If y'all don't know, he run the Recruit SU pages on Instagram and on Twitter. So he'll be with us, giving us an update on National Signing Day, which is one of the things we talking about. You good, Rich?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, all good. Yeah,
Sweet stuff.
we got a few things to talk about. It's been a minute. We got signing day that just happened. For the football
Yep.
team, we got men's and women's basketball.
hmm
We got the former announcer on here too. Former or current? Which one?
You know, wherever they need me to be, I'm here. But I'm all about them Jaguars, baby.
And look, this week we got baseball too. Y'all know Alf traffic control favorite time of the year. Y'all screen look clearer than mine. I'm kind of hating. Is mine
You back
blurry?
on laptop?
Yeah, this brand new MacBook, big dog. Must be the lighting. Yeah, man, we got some stuff to talk about. What we gonna talk about first? We gonna talk about baseball.
Let's go to base. Hey, Al, I ain't gonna even lie to you though.
Hmm?
I'm thinking about giving me some season baseball tickets.
Come on, man.
I
How
think
much
I
they
think
cost?
I'm I think I ain't called yet, but
Oh
I
yeah,
got to go with the trifecta. I got to support everybody. Might even do
right.
softball.
I know Varick is a trifecta season ticket holder, football, basketball, and baseball. So I'm sure he can give you a price.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. Cause look, I go out there to the games, put my little headphones in, and they got the best concessions. Like they got the chicken that hey, baseball slept on when it comes to the concessions. They got the best
Look,
concessions, man. It's a good chill vibe. If you just want to relax, bring your laptop out there, get some work done. But we
yeah,
like to win too. And that's
them
where you
fried
come in,
chicken
Al, to tell us
wings.
what we looking like.
Them
So J
fried
Max,
chicken
if
wings
they
will be
ask you to be
concession
the
stand.
announcer, you gonna do it?
What you say?
If they ask you to be the announcer for baseball, you'll do it?
I love Southern, man. Whatever they need me for, I got them. They know that. They
Look,
know that one
yeah,
call away.
I even announced the game last year against Alcorn. We end up losing that game, so I may not need to be doing any more announcements though. So, but yeah, let's get started with baseball. Um, man, we coming off a season that was a little lackluster, I think, to Southern University baseball standards. But I think Crenshaw has filled a bunch of holes coming into this season. This season we got about seven returning starters, if I counted correctly, on I say defense, but in the field. You got three all conference players and Jalen Lucky at first base. He was a former transfer from Alcorn to Southern. We got Benny Bicard, the standout freshman from last year from South Florida area at shortstop. We got KJ White at third base. Then we got Jacoby Ratcliffe in the outfield. He was not all swag, but he was. I don't know if anybody know, but Perfect Game is like the big publication that race baseball players and all that kind of stuff. But he was all swag, perfect game, all swag. And so we lose. What's the baseball player name from last year? We lost.
That went pro?
Yeah, God, I'm drawing
I
a
can't
blank,
think his
guy.
name.
I'm drawing a blank. It's gonna come to me. Hold on, Padres. Hold on, y'all. If y'all let me know in the comment, Cardell Thibodeau. We replaced Cardell Thibodeau. But that's pretty much the only big piece we're replacing. I mean, we actually I think we're doing an overhaul on the mound too. We got a lot of transfers and a lot that I can't even name right now actually. But I do know we do have some guys who have quality starts. We got a transfer from Sanford who played a lot at Sanford. We got a transfer from what's the school in Baltimore? God dog it. I am drawing blanks today. But we got a kid named Bobby Spencer who's go do big for us on the pitch mound. We got Jeremiah Enix, a transfer from Coppin State. He's about 88 to 91 from the left hand side. We got a freshman, Jaden Lawrence, who's about 91, 94. You know, we need a lot of heat on that mound just to throw batters off. Townsend University. Bobby Spencer from Townsend University. So we got a lot of new pieces. We also got a kid from Alaska. I can't think of what school he come from, but when I went to the homecoming alumni game, it was a lot of rave reviews for this kid right here. So I'm expecting them to kind of come in here with this veteran experience on the mound and kind of fill that void in for the Jacks on the baseball field. This weekend, we open up at home at Lee Hines Field against Miami of Ohio, who was a NCAA tournament participant last year. They played in the University of Tennessee, Knoxville Regional. I think they lost the first game 2-7 against Tennessee, and then they played Wake Forest the second game, losing, but put up a real fight against Wake Forest and lost 13-14. So you got an experienced Miami of Ohio team, experience as far as players, and then experience as far as playing in postseason tournament. So we'll have a good test this weekend to see where we at.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
hey, I got a question for you because I don't really know too much about baseball for real, for real. But when you say like a lot of people are returning on defense in the field, why is that so important for like a regular person like me? Why is that important? Because for a regular person like me, I'm like, all right, so why are we bringing them back if we had a lackluster year? I'm thinking like, so that's the same thing we expecting this year, but maybe you can help me on why that's so important.
Yeah, usually in baseball, man, you progress as you get older, you know. So a lot of these guys got a lot of playing experience. Last year, they know what it takes to play in the SWAC. They know what it takes to play in non-conference against these big schools like the LSU's, the ULs. Who else big we played last year? We played University of Texas in the past.
Yeah.
We just need to show a good foot, against these bigger schools and in SWAC play and in the SWAC tournament in order to get back to the NCAA tournament. That experience is go push the nerves out, and make sure we make the routine plays. The difference between good teams and bad teams is that the good teams make routine plays. They catch their fly balls. They catch their grounders. They turn double plays when they are presented to them. So with a veteran group of kids, they already know hopefully how to make those plays and then improve on their game since last year. Benny McCarr was a young kid last year who made some errors that are typical of a young kid, but Benny is a highly touted high school recruit that's expected to be looked at in next year's draft, not this year's draft. So I expect a lot of big things from him. He started out the season leading off for us, a switch hitter and shortstop. And I just think over this past summer and in the fall, hopefully he's worked on his defensive game and can apply both the defensive and also offensive game for us. Um, so yeah, that's why it's important. The less errors you have, the better, the less runs the other team produces. So
Gotcha. Okay. And
um,
you say we got that heat on the mound, so hopefully they
we
ain't
got
even
we got some okay heat. Nowadays they throwing a little more gas, but we got some gas. They ain't throwing gas. 89,
okay.
89, 90, 91, up to 94 with some of these younger guys. And I got to see some of these guys last year, like some of these freshmen that signed with us this year. They were in Florida last year in Vero Beach at the tournament. Them dudes look like they can play some football. Like they rip. Like
Yeah.
so, look athletic and all kind of stuff. So, we also got a transfer from Memphis. Actually a two-way player, a guy named Glenn. Glenn was about 92, 94. I think he had maybe a shoulder type injury, and so he may have lost some velocity. But I expect him to give us some help on the mound and in the field because he got a good bat too. So, uh, big things coming for the baseball team. And then a week after next, we traveling to Florida again in the Dawson Classic in Vero Beach, Florida. So That'll be another good case. We start off that tournament against Grambling, which is always a battle. And, it's a rivalry, but it's a rivalry on the baseball field too. It get real grimy between Southern and Grambling if you've never been to a Southern Grambling baseball game. So a lot of big games coming up for us early for the baseball team. So
So
Okay.
Al,
Okay.
which power hitters would you say we should look forward to this year coming up?
so the big one right now, who I think scouts are really looking at, is Jacoby Ratcliffe, and you wouldn't necessarily call him a power hitter. But I guess he's more of a contact hitter. But he did hit eight home runs last year. The fastest person on the team. I think I read something that said he ran like a 6.1 in the 60. So a 6.1 in the 60, you would say is like a 4.3 ish, 4.2 ish, in that range on the football field. So he is pretty fast and has a good bat. He batted down in our lineup last year, which gave us some diversity in the lineup. So I think that's a person to line up. I mean, to look at power wise. Also, Jalen Lucky is also a power guy who hit a lot of home runs last year. Another person is I forgot his first name, but Brant. Brant was a freshman last year who also played first base. And Coach Crenshaw likes to change out his players depending on what game it is and what, like, if it's midweek or it's weekend, so he gives a lot of people the experience. So you go not just those guys I named, but you'll see a lot of other guys come off the bench and get some reps in. So I think we got a lot of depth that we can figure out the right pieces by swag play. So it'll be interesting to see. Number one, how the pitching rotation comes out on weekends, and then how the batting lineup. I got an idea of how the batting lineup will come out, but I just want to see it on paper, coming up this weekend. So
I feel like pitching is the most important when you're looking at making a nice tournament run because you're coming off the SWAC tournament, going right into NCAA tournament. You got to have more than just one or two. Well, one ace. In SWAC, we pretty much have to have about three just to be able to last with some of those guys.
yeah, you gotta have an ace. I think Pine Bluff had the pitcher of the year, and he was consistent throughout the year, and that's something we didn't have last year was consistency. In the pitching rotation last year, we kind of switched it up a little bit with the twins, and then I can't forget the other kid who came behind him on Saturdays. But hopefully this year we see a little bit more consistency in the pitching rotation, where we can gather us a few wins each weekend. So
Okay. Okay. When you say the first game, Friday, what time? You know?
Friday, just meet me,
I
just
think
be
it's
in
like
the
I think it's
yard.
like 1 or 2 o'clock. I think it's during the day. I plan on going
It,
because
it
I
might
get off
be,
early Friday.
yeah, it might be. I know kids out of school in Baton Rouge, so
I am.
I know it's Mardi Gras, so you probably want to get it out the way early.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Make sure y'all support the baseball team though. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna look and see how much them season tickets going because
Yeah,
I'm trying to be out there.
chicken wings and baseball. Yeah, you can't get beat no combination like that. So yeah,
Man.
what we got going on in basketball?
Uh. So right now, basketball, we 7-4, sitting at number 3 in the SWAC rankings. We just had a huge win against Alabama State, game winner. Um, big bucket, big bucket. We
Big
coming
bucket.
along. Right now in the standings, I want to say Bethune is number 2, and oh no, Bethune might be number 1.
Yeah, but
But
doing
yeah,
number
Bethune
one, Pine
number 1,
Bluff
Arkansas
is
Pine
number
Bluff
two.
number 2.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Man, that was a big game this past week. I mean, we were down by 12 at one point. We were up
yeah.
by I think 10, at
Hmm.
one point. And man, it came down to the wire. It's just a gritty performance by our team, and then coming down with the last seconds, we're down by 2. And Shody hits a amazing 3-pointer, kind of fading away in the rainy seconds of the game, and hits that and up by 1. And Alabama State ends up missing that next shot down the court. So man, a good gritty performance by KJ and crew. I know a lot of people criticize them, the basketball team, but
KJ,
man,
I feel like, in my opinion, he's doing well with he got a lot. He got bit by the injury bug pretty bad this year,
oh yeah,
and so he getting a lot of those guys back. He got the kid from Egypt, Malik, who's like number 3 in the SWAC right now when it comes to rebounding. And of course, Jacob's gonna get his numbers. He averaging like 19 points a game. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's all coming together. The only Achilles heel that we've been having for the last few years is free throw.
Oh, free throw. Yeah.
Free throws. So we get that. Of course, turnovers too. And I think that's when it comes to late in the games when they making those runs. We get those things under control though, because we go up on every team we play. Every team we play, we up 10, 15 points. Easy. It's
Mhm.
just maintaining that lead. We get that underway. We're gonna be good when tournament play come for sure.
Yeah, I saw Malik was on the bench this weekend. Oh, yeah, this weekend. So once he gets back, I think we'll be at full head of steam coming into the latter stretch of the SWAC tournament or SWAC season. So
That as well as Cam Aubrey. I feel like once Cam Aubrey is back to 100% as well, he can add to a lot to that offense.
mhm.
Yeah. Cam, one of my favorite players. Cam streaky. He's streaky. And we got I think Jace. I don't think Jace might be hurt as well. But we doing good right now. We get those right now. In the free throws, we rank number 8. So we get that under. We fine. Offense, we
Yeah.
good. We scoring. We'll be good though. I like us when it come to tournament play for sure. I ain't just saying that either.
Yeah. And then the women in 4th place right now, 7-4. We coming off did we play Alabama State just this weekend?
Alabama A&M and Alabama State, I believe.
I know we lost to Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M 10-1 right now. They on the streak. I think they 10 in a row if I'm not mistaken. So they playing good. Like the girls been doing good this year. Big wins against Power 4 schools. It'll
And
bode well for us.
just like
Yeah.
the men, we play like with the men, we play Bethune again, so we get another crack at them to kind of get back in that first place. And just like the women, we're gonna end up playing Alabama and them again, which we only lost by 2 points. I mean, a loss is a loss, and we was on a roll. I think we're on like a 3-game losing streak right now when it comes to the women. Same thing with the guys though. We gotta hit them free throws. In the SWAC, we like rank number 9 or 10 when it comes to free throw percentage, and that's just kind of unacceptable. I mean, they free. They free. So we fix those. We'll be fine. But if it's one coach on that yard I trust,
It's Funches.
it's Funches.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to the women, man. I know we'll break that streak coming up. So, like
Yeah,
you
and
said,
just my bad, not to cut you off, Al. Just shout out a few of them. Michaela Cunningham, she's currently 3rd in assist in the SWAC right now. Jayla Reed,
Who you say?
she's a shooter for sure. Reed is currently 3rd in the SWAC as far as 3-pointers made. Then you got Jocelyn Tate as well, who's currently 2nd in steals in the conference right now.
And Demier Porter, she was leading the SWAC at one time. So I think I hadn't been to all the games lately, but she's kind of gotten cold on me. So one thing about this women's basketball is streaky. As y'all remember 3 or 4 years ago when we went on that run in the tournament, it's streaky. So those girls, especially Demier Porter, they get the rolling at the right time. We're gonna be in good shape. I feel like we will be.
Demaya or Dominier?
Right.
Maybe it's Demaya. I'm gonna say Miss Porter. Miss Porter.
I hope he wasn't saying that at the game.
Yeah, Miss Porter. I ain't been working it.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't been working it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be in good shape.
Oh yeah. I appreciate y'all tuning in with us today, man. Make sure y'all drop in the comments where y'all listening from. Jaguar Nation. I love to see where y'all listening from. Like I said, we got Reggie McCoy on here tonight. Reggie McCoy runs the Recruit for SU Twitter and is Recruit SU on Instagram.
Recruit for SU. I think it is on both platforms. Don't quote me on that just because it was
wherever you see the offers and commits.
Few names we have to play with before we made an official name. So
all right, shout out to Cleveland, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Guess
So
who
this
Go
the
ahead.
moment everybody been waiting for, because football make the money. Reggie?
I didn't know the questions about to come in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we switching gears to football. We just had signing day on February something. If y'all follow
February 4th.
What's up, Old Town? What's up, Cypress? If y'all follow the school, the Southern football page or the recruit SU page, you'll see you had about 40, 50, 60 posts come through of commits. Um, it was really too much for me to even keep track of. Like I would want to post some, but I just couldn't post all of that at the same time.
I mean,
Um,
guys, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, Rich. I know you deep in there, but I feel like they went big and fast. They got some big old guys, and on the outside they got some speedy guys. When it comes to those skill positions, when I was there listening to these kids, everything 4'5", 4'4", 4'6", and all the big guys in them trenches, we looking at 6'5", 6'6", 382, whatever. You know, these some big old guys, man.
Yeah, I would say based on what we can see, it looks like the main focus that Coach Faulk and Curtis Johnson pretty much attacked was speed. One thing that he mentioned at the signing day event at TJ Reds was speed kills. And if you look across the SWAC, look what we had as far as some of the teams that we went up against that actually had all SWAC conference players. You had who was that? The kid from Jackson, the running back, Travis Terrell, and you already know once he touched the ball, he's out of here. You had oh, this ass switch, man. But you had a few guys in the SWAC that were just key guys. And you're looking at the whole everything based on the offense that we're trying to incorporate. Based on I'm not trying to put too much out there, but just based on some of the conversations, it looks like we're going to try to get some of those athletic guys the ball quickly and let them create and move. We need that.
yeah, I agree. We were kind of one dimensional last year, just running up the middle. Um, I think people my age, our age, we spoiled because I ain't gonna say we came up, but when I was in college, I had Willie Quinn. I remember when I first saw Willie Quinn on campus, 5'4" at best, bro. Like, no, ain't no way that's the same dude on the field. But we've been looking for that shiftiness for a long time. So, uh,
And if you really take that and just examine the ways that we utilized Willie Quinn at that time, we had a lot of wide receiver screens, slip screens, get him the ball in sweeps. So it wasn't too much just going down the field throwing verts all game. Like we had a lot of ways that we were incorporating him into the offense that had him on one-on-one situations where he could just make a move, get by somebody. He's out of there.
But we also got kids. I mean, I don't know if we're going too fast into it, but I know we got the commit from UL, Charles Robinson. He like 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
So that's a vertical threat, and it's end zone, red zone type of threat as well. So he's a pretty tall kid, and that's 6'1" on paper. I was next to him. He damn near looked like a basketball player.
yeah, I think that's a big pickup for us. And yeah, we've been working on Charles a long time now.
And just speaking of that height, just look at our tight ends room. As far as the tight ends that we brought in, none of them are under 6'4". So you're looking at 6'4" to 6'9" as far as just tight ends.
I'm gonna throw some names out there. Aiden Valdez, Los Angeles, California, 6'5", 250. Oh, you got it? That tight end room look like dang near look like a basketball room.
Mm-hmm.
They got a kid 6'9", 250. And
From
he playing tackle.
State.
He playing tackle as well.
Let me see if we can go through. We can go through these now.
Yeah.
First one we got Khalil Davis. This probably the first commit we had on social media actually right here.
Yeah.
Running back. Well, I don't know what you go calling it. Say athlete right here. Running back from Omaha, Nebraska. If you watch his huddle, dynamic running back. I think like Coach Covington said, you can put the kid at receiver in the slot. I think he can play that too. This is a kid I think will get some playing time day one. So
yeah, he can be utilized a lot. Just in that slot and that third down running back, scat back. You can put him in a lot of places and just, get in the ball quickly, let him create his own path and just kind of take off. He is a speedy guy.
I was just about to say
over about 2,000 yards all purpose in his senior year.
Mm-hmm. Trying to read. Who we got next? Got Ramirez Young. This was the focus. I think for our recruiting class was offensive alignment. Offensive alignment in trenches. Uh, he comes from I think a D2 or NAIA school, but you know you got to add depth on that offensive line. So
And look at our offensive line for the past 2 years when we're speaking about depth. Like we had the first year under Graves, we had the first 6 games had 5 different starting lineups at offensive line.
yep.
So if you're looking at that over the landscape of a full season, especially with this squad being year one, it's going to be a lot of people changing in and out. So we need that depth to kind of see who fits, and then also what's their best purpose and how we can utilize them the best. From down to down.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another receiver right here we got from Louisiana Tech. Now, a big thing people talked about was recruiting New Orleans area, and this is one of the first commits we had, or I guess not one of the first, but one of the first transfer commits we had. This is a DeJon Smith right here, former car receiver who was at Louisiana Tech last year. So I'm thinking we looking for that guy in space to get one-on-one. This might be one of the guys we looking for next year. So.
Yeah. Hey, you don't mind finding Waddell on there, huh? That's the one I'm excited about right there.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna get.
We gotta talk about Dave too. Don't skip Dave.
Which one? Oh. So yeah. This was one of our freshmen we got from out the 318. You know, 318 middle and the top of the boot. Macario Day Jr. 5'6", 165. Now, if you was at the recruiting badge, you know this kid is an Olympic qualifier. Supposedly ran a 9.9 in the 100-meter. Now, I sent this to a former track athlete, and he kind of looked at his stats, track stats, and he was questioning the 9.9 and all that. So,
hey, if you in the range though, that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Especially out of high school, he's only gonna get faster.
You see his film, man. He's just electric. You say you looking for J Max?
Speed and big guys. Washita.
Other Washita.
Waddell Clark.
Yeah, he right there in the middle, next to the helmet.
Okay, that's your boy. Go ahead.
All I know is he a sleeper. One thing for sure, you was talking about Willie Quinn. This guy right here, when it comes to special teams is important when it comes to football because it's a field position type of game. You get this guy right here a chance to make a play. He is naturally God-given, athletic, and with the development the right way, freshman, he'll be coming in as a true freshman. I could definitely see him getting on the field when it comes to special teams, and if not at wide receivers. I feel like this is a big pickup, dynamic. Remember the name. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But y'all gonna say, "Hey, J Max told me about that kid right there, Waddell Clark." Nice.
Yeah. Man, I actually got a phone call about him. I'm exciting phone calls like, "Hey, we like this kid. What you think?" I like him too. Real scrappy. Like he might not have the size you like at 5'9", 160. But the boy like he like honey badgerish to me. When you watch his film, you watch the game against Ruston in the state championship game, causing fumbles, interceptions, scoring touchdowns. Like he just do it all on the field. I don't know if he gonna touch the field this year, but I think this is a good pickup down the line, man. Shout out to Washita for sending us not 2 but 3 athletes. Shout out to Mr. Charles Wright, who is principal at Washita, and is a former Jaguar too. So,
yeah, I would say Waddell is definitely a kid that can play both sides of the ball. Very talented. Just make plays. That's all he did in that state championship game. You could tell that he really wanted it and wanted to bring that back to his school for his senior year, and he just went out there and did it. Made plays offensively and defensively. A big play to force a fumble late in the game for a turnover that basically sealed the game. So, he's a kid that I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised that once he does touch the field, I would not be surprised if he's playing both sides.
Yeah, and I guess kudos to Ben Miles, man. You saw Ben Miles at a lot of schools in the 318. Once the coaches got ready to, get out and start recruiting. So,
matter of fact, this might be before y'all time, but he reminds me of Cushenberry.
Corey Cushenberry.
Yeah, he remind me of Cushionberry. That's who he remind me of. So whenever I envision him, special teams, defense, offense, all that, that's who he remind me of.
Yep.
Yep. We got another recruit commit right here, Hunter Snackenberg from Riverside, California. And that's one thing you gonna see with this recruit class. You gonna see a few. I ain't gonna say a few. A lot of kids from California area. Obviously, Marshall spending a lot of time in the California area. We got Coach Donald Penn who lives in LA, and then Coach Merchant who was at Sacramento State last year. We got a lot of California connects. Rick Jackson, what's Rick's title?
Director of
GM,
operations,
Yeah,
GM. Yeah,
he's from California too, so you'll see an influence of California kids on here. Let's see who we got.
and as
We
far
got
as a lot of these just outside network, a lot of this is the network these coaches already had prior to coming to Southern. So with this first year, you got to utilize and you got to be quick. So
Yep.
if I have a network of guys that I can grab that's from the area that I'm from, I might as well go ahead and bring them in and try to get them here, because majority of the time they were probably already recruiting these kids before they were brought into the coaching staff at Southern.
right.
So next year you'll probably see a lot more in the area. Just in some of the conversations I've had with some of the staff members, they've already said that they're probably not going to have as many transfers as they had this year. But you got to look at the immediate. This coaching staff is trying to win immediately. They're
Right.
trying to turn this around expeditiously. So
Right.
you got to get in what you can.
Right.
and I'm not really when it comes to this transfer portal, I feel like that's a hit or miss. You never know who's going to hit, who's going to miss. But when it comes to actually doing your research on high school talent, some of these high school talents will probably outperform and outshine these kids that are coming from different schools who might have not even been playing at the college they were previously at, because the talent wasn't at the talent that it should have been at. And when it comes to where we're going now with the NCAA, these kids are going to come. Let's just be a realist. Some of these freshmen are coming in and they might play and then they might leave. So as for recruiting purposes, hey, let me go to the next high school and say, okay, I can get you where you want to go. So, I'm excited to see where these young kids take us.
Let's see who we got next. Oh yeah, we got Nico Clark, who's transferred from Presbyterian College. Nico originally from the Chicago area. You will see a few Chicago kids on here too. Marshall's plugged in, got a plug in the Chicago area, which is why you kind of see an influx of Chicago kids in this recruiting class. Chicago kids, they built a little different. They're a little more grimy, a little more physical, which I need. We need that rough and tough. My line brother, Brian McCain, was on the football team and was from Chicago. That played fullback on the stump and Odom. So, I think that physicality that they bring from that area of the country is gonna bode well for us coming up. So, and then we got Sean Garcon. Reggie, that's your boy, man. You want give him a little insight?
Yeah, so Sean is locked in. When you already know, when you come down to Louisiana and when you meet your people, if a person meets your people, you know your family at that point. So just as far as just Sean, I've met his uncle, real cool guy. His uncle is also trying to do some things to help out Southern University as well with his network. So that's also some of the kids that we're bringing in, utilizing their network as well, because it's some of these connections that they already had to either NFL guys or NFL Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Famers, former guys from bigger programs that have this network that was close to Marshall Faulk, and they're looking for opportunities as well. So, Sean, I feel like is a great guy that can come to this defense as a leader. He's young. He actually graduated early so he can be on campus right now. So he's out of high school, but he's right on campus right now for the spring semester, starting early, trying to graduate early as well. But I feel like he can be a big factor in his defense as well as special teams, and Coach Light feels the same.
Yeah. We talked about linemen earlier. I see one of the comments talking about the returning players and how they have an impact. Honestly, I don't know who all has come back at this point. However, I did see some pictures and I did see Clifton Webb, who was a freshman last year that came from Zachary. And, it's so crazy. We talking about recruiting. Clifton Webb was one of the guys that was sent to our last coaching staff late. And we got on him late and ended up getting a commitment from him last year. And he got some playing time this year. And I think just from him getting playing time as a younger kid, um, that's go bode well to, especially with depth or whether he end up starting too on the offensive line. Like he's already got that playing experience. And then he comes into this year with that playing experience. He knows what to do. He knows what not to do, and he can give some insight with these other younger guys that we're bringing in too. So, kudos to the guys who thugged it out with us last year on the football team too. So I know last year was a rough season, but we coming into this new season, new coach, new staff, new players, some returning players, and hopefully we
And,
can just mesh that in together to
and
put on a winning season. So.
speaking of Clifton and Charles Robinson and Baton Rouge, can we stay in the Baton Rouge for a second and let's go to Madison Prep. Victor
Okay.
Hollis.
Okay.
Victor Hollis, D
How
line.
how we get to Madison from campus? Just make a right on.
Make a right. You could take scenic all the way down.
Okay. I just saw Victor.
Yeah, Victor Hollis, young kid about 6'1". Physical kid, actually. He is very violent with his hands, and I feel like he's gonna, in my opinion, I feel like he's probably gonna get immediate playing time because of how, I'm just be honest, how weak our defensive tackles were last year. So I think this will be a big plus for us when it comes to a slight upgrade, him seeing immediate action next year. So we'll see. Like I said, very violent with his hands, big body. He'll be able to be great for depth when it comes to defensive tackle.
Yeah, man.
And
This
they
is
say
like,
we want to recruit Baton Rouge. So, so far we done listed at least 3 or 4 kids that came from Baton Rouge.
yeah, man. I don't get it. Why they don't say we don't recruit Baton Rouge? But when you bring up the stats and the analytics and say, "Hey, we got 25 kids from Baton Rouge on the team," then it's
Yeah, I
cricket.
mean, our running back from Baton Rouge.
Now, speaking of running backs, just
Yeah,
this running back room alone, I feel this may be the best running back room. I'm saying it early, but I do feel like this is maybe the best running back room that we've had since our Odom years. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that. I
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
feel I feel they may rush for more yards than our Odom's area.
It's a tough one. Hey, look, let's believe it. Hey, I talked to Coach Covey, said our running backs coach, and just from his words, we finna pound this ball. We finna pound this rock. If you saw the picture that they posted, them working out, I think it was 7 running backs on the picture on my camera. It was 7 running backs on the picture. And all of them returned from last
Yep.
year. So
And
I
we
don't.
added what about 3 of them? 3 more?
Yeah, 2 freshmen. I don't know of
We
any
got two
transfer running backs.
We got two freshmen transfer from Texas A&M. We have another transfer that came in as well. So we added about 4 to 5 running backs.
May
Yeah,
the
and
best man win.
I personally got DMs like, "Hey, can you send my kid to coach? Can you send my kid to coach? He a running back." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh no, that like I don't even know if 10 running backs in one room is typical for a college football team, but maybe it is. I don't know." And yeah, Mike Franklin returns too. I love Mike Franklin last year.
Yeah,
Mike Franklin is change of pace in the other direction. Like he's a bigger back. He's finna come downhill on you. He finna drop that shoulder on you, and he go pound you like that. Like, we got Trey Holly obviously coming back. We got Asbury who showed some flashes last year. And we just got a host of other people, coming behind them three too. I think in this offense, if you've seen the offense that we gonna run the go-go offense, if y'all haven't, just go on YouTube, type in go-go offense, or you can type in Sacramento State go-go or UNLV go-go. You'll see kind of what they run. This offense involves multiple backs in the backfield. Your running backs gotta block. So if you ain't gonna block, you probably ain't gonna play. So with us having this many running backs in the running back room, it gives us options, to put certain people in place and for us to be successful in the running game, which I know we are gonna be. So
And don't forget them speedy guys that as soon as you commit to that run,
Up over the top. Over the
over
top.
the top.
Coach Cole already said, no block, no rock.
There it
Ooh,
is.
I like
Damn,
it.
really?
I like that.
Go put
I
that
He
on
like
said
shirt.
it's either night of the Saturday. He said, no block, no rock. That's my mentality. So
We got a screen record that, bro.
Reg, what you know about Devin DePlus's DB?
Devin. So a great DB out of New Orleans. I feel that he definitely can come in and I would say probably cover majority of the field. I feel that he could probably be used at corner and safety. Just the way he moves, I feel he may be better at corner, but still, just with the development of Coach Light, and then AB as well, he can probably develop him into kind of move around the field and make his way. But just size and speed and the way he can read the ball and actually react and break on the ball, I think he should be very good for our defense.
Now, didn't we have a safety that was a transfer from somewhere, big body safety? I remember his helmet from the previous school being white. Don't remember the name.
We had
Safety.
Gladney.
Maybe.
You talking about in this class?
Yeah. I have to go back and see.
Big body
I
safety.
thought we had a safety that was at least 6'2" or 6'3".
I know we got Gladney, which came from Nebraska, but I think Gladney would probably play more linebacker than safety. But I mean, he could probably come down and play the box, so that may be.
Gotcha.
Safety. We this is a kid right here, another freshman kid. I'm excited about Ray Hines Henry, 6'2", 165. You look at his film, he looks all of 6'2", 6'3-ish. At safety. So I think this may not be an immediate impact, but man, once this kid get in the weight room, get up to maybe 200 at 6'3", I think you got a quality safety right here too. So look, we signed 4-5 quarterbacks.
We signed. We got.
Let's see. First one we got Vashawn Couillon, quarterback out of Saint Augustine High School, New Orleans, Louisiana. I think he threw for 3,200 yards this year.
Mm-hmm.
A freshman coming in. I've seen a few interviews with him, and he's very eloquently spoken.
Mm-hmm.
You can see those leadership qualities in him. Now the last time Valdez sent us quarterback, it turned out all right for us. So,
yeah, and a bit undersized, but not in a bad way. He reminds me of the kid that I hate to bring up this school right now, but the kid that was at Alcorn, that quarterback.
Which one?
2019, maybe 18, 19. Kind of shorter quarterback, fast, elusive, but he could sling it.
Man.
Anywho, he has the gamer intangibles.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
He is a bit on the but that doesn't mean he's not a gamer. I ain't gonna doubt him.
Yeah. I think Austin was shorter than him if his height is accurate. Or Austin probably was 5'9", 5'10". So yeah.
But we signed four
quarterbacks.
Three of them, I believe, were freshmen.
I'm trying to
once again, may the best man win. I love the competition.
Oh, there we go. We got Mario Littman. This is a kid out the Cincinnati area, Fort Thomas, Kentucky, to be exact. Pretty good film. Another shorter guy that can sling it and run it, man. I know Coach Merchant is real big on this kid right here. And this kid, the commitment from this kid just kind of shows you the coaches we have and the connections they have. Because apparently, Mario gets trained by a quarterback coach that Coach Merchant previously coached, and he just gave Merchant a call and said, "Hey, I got a quarterback." He saw him on FaceTime and ended up offering him a scholarship. Reggie, what you think?
I think Mario, honestly, I think Mario may be one of my favorite out of this class, just because of his movement. I do want to see more out of. Well, I do want to see him develop a little bit more. But just based on his movement, his elusiveness, his ability to read the field, create, I think he possibly can get us there where we're trying to get to, and win that starting role. But of course, there's going to come in and see how his mentality is once he's actually learning the playbook, because there's a lot of different factors when you're looking at that starting role as a quarterback. You can probably be the most talented, but you also have to be a captain on that field. And if you don't have that captain and that leader ability, it can change a lot.
Tell me.
She said I can.
Yeah.
And also just with this offense too, it's going to kind of depend on how everybody adapts to this play style, because it's going to be new, especially for our guys. And then a lot of this team just going into the go-go offense is new. So it's not that known. Just to kind of touch on Miss Regina's question in the chat, I feel it can adapt to the sweat very well, just because it's going to throw a lot of defenses off. It's going to make you play a lot faster than you want to. And then also you have to be able to switch out guys and have that depth. So if we can attack the depth in various different ways based on formations, that can help us a lot when you're looking at just putting points on the board.
I give it to you like this. If you're a defensive coordinator and you see the spread offense every week, you get accustomed to planning against the spread offense. Now that you have an offense that you probably see once a year, it makes you say, okay, we have to change our entire scheme this week from what we normally do.
Yeah, and I kind of think about Alabama State, who's our first opponent. They don't even have any film, I guess, technically on us. I mean, they probably watching the same videos I've been watching on YouTube with Sacramento State and UNLV, trying to figure out what's the best way to scheme, defensive scheme for this offense. So I think that'll throw some people off that first game. So hopefully that works well for us. Yeah. Next we got Wyatt McCauley, who's a JUCO transfer from Compton, California. There's another quarterback we signed.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's on campus.
Yeah. Okay, so that might give him an advantage, because that's what I worry about when it comes to some of these young guys, is getting in that playbook, being able to be up here early, getting the workouts in, getting the way they do things, getting the way the verbiage. I feel like you get a head start if you're here early.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm missing somebody, or missing a quarterback.
Is Strother back? Stroller?
No. I'm talking about one we signed.
No, I'm just asking. Is Ashton back?
Yeah, I've seen him on pictures. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think last time I talked to Coach Miles, Ben Miles, he said as far as transfers, the ratio, I want to say about 90% of them as of today. As of last week, when I talked to him, as of last week, are on campus. So majority of this transfer class is on campus, and then also some of the guys that graduated early, which they have about, I want to say 4 to 5 seniors that was in this class, have graduated early and on campus right now and registered.
Okay, that's dope. So we'll have a good look at the spring game.
Right.
Reggie, do we know anything about the spring game?
So they have a date set, but they haven't officially put it out yet. I'm predicting it may be around the same time as it was last year. I would say the second or third week of April or something like that.
Whenever we have a baseball game,
yeah,
home game. So,
but once that information comes out, I'm more than likely post it. But they are trying to do something big for the spring game. There's been some discussions. I don't have anything official yet, but they are trying to make it bigger than what it's been. So just off the excitement that we're looking at going into the fall, they want to make the spring game similar to that. And then also just talking to Coach Miles as well, they want to utilize the spring game for recruitment opportunities. So you will see a lot of those kids that they've already offered for the class of 2027, which they've already started focusing on. They want a lot of those guys to be at the spring game. So, of course, we want all the fan support to show them exactly what the Jaguar Nation looks like, as well as these guys that's on campus that's transferred that's going to be their first glimpse of the Jaguar Nation. So we want to show up and make sure that we are putting out a good product as well, just as far as a fan base. They already enjoyed the TJ Ribs event. I talked to a lot of guys after, and they was just like, man, like I wasn't expecting Southern to be like this. And you had a lot of those transfers that was at the TJ Ribs event. So, just showing that how the Jaguar Nation is, they already getting a taste and the feel for, okay, this is what I'm looking at as far as the fall. And they're going to fall in love with the school on top of that.
Yeah, I most definitely agree. How many kids we signed? Or about 50, 60?
I think it was 40, 49, 50. Yeah.
And the thing is, we got some talented PWOs coming on too. Because I heard that the kid from East Feliciana is supposed to be an athlete. We got Chad Jones' son, who's
I forgot about him, man. It's too many of them. Like, yeah, Chad Jones' son has.
Well, his name is Chad Jones. I know he might get tired of people saying, "Hey, Chad Jones." Yeah. So,
yeah, another kid from St. Augustine High School in New Orleans. I don't know how many New Orleans kids we signed. Probably about 10, which I think is a good number. A good enough number to keep our fans happy. They complain about recruiting New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So
we get some dogs out that city for sure, though.
Oh yeah, that's just setting us up for the future. So will the spring game be televised?
I doubt it would be televised.
I mean,
I doubt if it would be televised. I would like it if it's on Jaguar Sports Network. So Willie Scott, if you're listening, but I'm sure they don't want to give too much away as well.
Yeah, and like if it is on whatever network, whether it's Jaguar Sports Network, HBCU Go, like I mean, you can have air traffic control, sideline reporting. You got Reggie McCoy. Well, Reggie, you ain't gonna be here, but me and Jay
I'm trying to make it for the spring game. Trying to.
So if y'all watching, yeah, that's just an idea. It's just an idea. So.
Yeah, but just as far as this class, just to kind of circle back to that, we looking at about 49 to 50 kids that we bringing in. Majority of them are transfer portal. It was kind of close to half, but just moving forward, like I said, they don't plan on having as many transfers next year. This was kind of one of those one-offs that you will notice with the new system of the transfer portal, would it just being one window open as opposed to two. Moving forward, they plan on having a lot of guys that's going to come out of high school because of the fact that the transfer portal is going to be so stacked that a lot of high school talent is going to get overlooked. And they plan on sliding in on the back end and definitely taking advantage of that.
Yeah. Let me just switch gears. We can look at this schedule right here. So we start off against Alabama State. Alabama State coming off a very good season, did make the SWAC championship, but however, Alabama State got everybody's attention in the SWAC. This game will be in Birmingham, Alabama. We know Alabama State led by Andrew Body, the SWAC Player of the Year for the 2025 season. What's y'all thoughts on the game? First game.
Contrary to popular belief, when we played them this previous year, when I was all about vibes, we were in the game until after halftime. we were competing. Everything was looking well until after halftime. So now that I feel like we got to upgrade as far as talent, recruits, everything all together, I might say we go undefeated. So I don't know. I don't think y'all should ask me anything for real because I'm so biased when it comes to Southern. But I actually think if we could put together a full game, we should be fine.
Yeah, man. If we put a full game, and like I said, they don't have no film on us, and then it would have been even crazier if Andrew Body was our quarterback. But that's a different story to talk about.
Yeah, I would say I'm looking forward to the game. I think it is going to be a great test for this new coaching staff, this new team. Great welcome to the SWAC test right there with one of the best teams in the conference going up against them, especially with a lot of their guys kind of coming back, led by, star quarterback Andrew Body. I can't say anything bad about the kid at all. I would love to see him in a Jaguar uniform, but, unfortunately on the other side, but still just the talent that they have offensively and defensively is going to be a great test that they should have. I feel like it should be a great game.
Oh yeah, and then we got the next game. We going into the Pete Richardson Classic. Pete Richardson Classic been the first home game the last few years. Looks like they got the color for it already. The whiteout game. Obviously, it's gonna be hot. So now you might say Kentucky State D2, but Kentucky State put BTA to Grambling last year at home and should have won the game. If you watch the game, you know the refs cheated. Blah blah blah. Kentucky State should have won. Head by Felton Huggins, a Baton Rouge native, at Kentucky State. So he's coming to put belt BTA to the Jaguars week 2 for the P. Richardson Classic. This will be a good time for the home fans to see what the Jaguars are looking like if they didn't go to Birmingham the previous week. And a good way for Marshall Faulk to begin the Marshall Faulk area at A.W. Mumford Stadium.
Yeah, I feel like this Kentucky State team is not a team to be slept on. So
Oh, yeah.
don't look at the schedule and say, "Oh, we playing Kentucky State." Like Al said, this is a team that hung with Grambling, forced them into overtime, and honestly, they should have won their game. They made the D2 playoffs last year. This is a very talented squad that's coached by a great, So he was even also in a discussion, apparently, for Southern University head coaching job. So he is coming in with a chip on his shoulder. If that is true, I don't know for a fact, but if that is true, he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder and saying that, hey, you should have picked me.
Yeah, I will say this. They lost one of their top receivers to the transfer portal, and I want to say one of them graduated. But that's not to say they didn't retool and regroup and bring in some better guys. But it makes me a little more comfortable.
Because they recruiting Baton Rouge too, obviously. So
Yeah.
Yep. Next game, we got the first of 3 Houston games. I know the Houston followers are excited. A few Houston Jaguars are excited about the 3 games in Houston this year. The first one is at U of H, September 12th at TDECU Stadium in Third Ward, Texas. So, I definitely expect Jag Nation to travel to Houston, Texas, which they always do travel to Houston, Texas. And this will be a big test for us coming into this September 12th game, week 3.
I was at TJ Ribs, and our coach said we probably that they looking to win, and that's what I like to hear. I don't want to hear compete. I don't want to hear I want to hear we looking to win. So I take that.
Got to look at it. Curtis Johnson took his Tulane squad up to Houston and got
That's who said it. That's who said it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Next, we got the second home game against Louisiana Christian University, formerly Louisiana College. This was a game that was just added a few weeks ago. I think originally that was Mississippi Valley State in place. And if I sent you the schedule in December, it do got Mississippi Valley in this place. So take that one out, put this one in, and that's your schedule right there. So um I call them LC. That's what we always called them growing up. So they were always D3. I think they still D3 if I'm not mistaken. They were pretty successful in their conference last year, but however, the difference between Division 1 and the different Division 3 is a huge drop off. So I expect this to be one of those games where you shake back, and kind of get your feet underneath you. So
and you perfect your craft for that following week.
Yep, for sure. And then after that, we got the Boombox Classic, one of my favorite games of the year, on September 26th, another early Boombox Classic, which I particularly like. I know some people like a later Boombox Classic, but I expect Jag Nation to travel to Jackson, Mississippi, support Coach Faulk and the Jag. So
I'm definitely looking excited for that one. I think that will be a big test to see where we are, especially coming out of this stretch, because we already have a test with the Houston and Alabama State game. I feel like by that point, we should be in somewhat of a groove of how this offensive and defensive playbook will work. Some of those guys should be getting real jailed as far as meshing together, seeing what you have. So that Jackson game will be pivotal in that time schedule, just to see where we are as far as a team, and hopefully we can come out with a dub on that one and take full control of SWAC West at that point,
Yep.
possibly go the rest of the way and close out.
Yeah,
Yep,
we
yep.
need.
And so the difference between I'm sure y'all said it, but the difference between this year and previous years is this game actually counts now, as far as when it comes to SWAC play.
Yep.
Yeah, we need this win too because Jackson been getting out of hand, and I don't like that because in my time we was putting belt to A word, back then, and
Yeah.
I just never seen Jackson fans with so much enthusiasm and arrogance. So I think we need to put them back in their place, and it's about that time. Trust.
And then just with that timing of that, you look at Southern and Jackson. If we possibly win that game, Jackson is on pins and needles the rest of the way out, because then they'll still have Alabama State that they have to go up against. You got a new FAMU that you'll be going up against. So they will have a tough road as we do as well. But winning that game can be big for possibly not even having to see them again.
Mm-hmm. And then the week after Jackson State, you got homecoming, which is the Columbia Blue game. Yeah, that's the Columbia Blue game against University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm sure the yard will be jumping. It's an early home game. I expect it to be hot. I expect for people to have they swimming trunks on and water balloons ready and water stations to be hydrated because it's gonna be hot in early October in Baton Rouge. So I like I said, I like big games early in the season. So we can get them out the way and it ain't cold.
Yeah.
Next, we got the second of the three Houston games. As we play Prairie View A&M in Baton Rouge, Texas, at AW Mumford 290 West Campus. So I'm always excited for that game. I'm a master's alum from Prairie View, so I love to rub it in my friends' face. Ever since they built this new stadium, we have never lost. We have never lost in the stadium down 290 that we own. I think we 6-0. I saw a video of somebody from Prairie View talking about Southern, y'all got lucky last year in Prairie View. No, we didn't get lucky. That's just our home stadium. We do what we do in that stadium, and that's win, 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 win. And when I say win, I mean 5-0 win. We have never lost going down 290. Matter of fact, in the city of Houston, if I can recall back to even when I started school, Southern football team is probably 22-1 since 2010 on games in the city or Metro Houston area. So some people like, oh well, we lost to Texas Southern 2 or 3 times in a row a few years ago. We played all them games in Dallas, so they don't count.
Right.
But when we in Houston, we hard to stop. So
And then before Texas Southern beating us in Houston, I think we were on a 7 or 8 game win streak on them as well. Majority of the SWAC, we were on win streaks. The only teams, the only teams that we really couldn't get past was Alcorn. If you look back at it, PV get us here and there at home, but outside of that, it was just Alcorn.
Yeah, man. I talked to Coach Balance here. He says this all the time. Need to take back what's ours. We need to take back what's ours, and that just kind of goes back to how we were playing during those times. Like we ran the SWAC, like we wasn't this low. So it's time for us to get back to the dominance that we used to being in. So
right.
Next game we got TSU October 17th in Houston. I'm curious to see if we're going back to Baton Rouge, but I'm sure we are.
I think they probably will.
Nobody got no money like that.
Yeah. Yeah, not like that. Yeah, they're gonna go back and probably drive back up. I'm thinking more than likely, depending on what time that PV game is, they'll probably go back that night and then more than likely just drive back Thursday before Texas Southern, just to get those guys some rest and kind of do a turnaround. But that Texas Southern game as well, haven't really seen what they're bringing in too much to speak on them, but of course that PV has replaced and brought in about 70, 75 kids
Mm-hmm.
to that
Yep, I
team.
think that's what it was. Yep.
So they did a complete overhaul from that championship team, and just knowing how their coaching mentality is with Coach Jackson over there, I'm pretty sure he'll put them in the right positions and have the right scheme to help them get back to where they were. So that PV game is going to be big. Texas Southern, I'm not too privy on exactly what their squad looks like for this year, but still, just going back to back on the road in Houston like that, you're looking at a trap game possibly happening, especially coming off the conference champs and you going right back to Houston. You can probably be a little on edge because of the fact that, yeah, I just got past this hurdle at PV. If that win happens, or possibly if that loss happens, now we got to shake back. So
Mhm.
having that right there back to back is going to be tough on the team. So we got to see, it kind of push them to excel past that. And then you're looking at a bye week and you come right back to fam.
Yep. Three away games in a row. Yeah, so FAMU, we have not fared well against this team, period, home or away. So that'll be another big game to turn around that series. FAMU coming off the same situation we is with the firing of Coach Cozy and hiring of Quinn Gray, the former FAMU Rattler and Jacksonville Jaguar quarterback. And he's bringing a lot of enthusiasm back to Tallahassee, Florida, also, which is good for FAMU. So, like you said, we'll have to be ready coming into Tallahassee. I know they go come and bring it. Hopefully it'll be a nice little atmosphere on Halloween in Tallahassee. They say I don't know what they say, Southern and FAMU like cousins because we used to play all the time and it used to be an older rivalry. It's time to kind of start building this rivalry back up.
Right.
I think because this is two perennial institutions that are arrogant as hell. The Jag Nation is arrogant. FAMU is arrogant too. So those two type of teams going together that both for a good rivalry.
But see, Al, I think this rivalry has lacked over the past few years because the away game, well, whoever was the away team, the band wouldn't go. So when we were away at FAM year before last, band didn't travel. FAM came here, band didn't travel. So I
Mhm.
think that does kind of take a little bit away from that game. We do need the bands to be involved in that because I think it just adds to the rivalry. But definitely, last time I went and actually experienced Bragg, I enjoyed it. The people are pretty good out there, and they talk. So
Yeah.
I can always enjoy a crowd that can talk because I'm gonna talk the whole game. So I can always appreciate that when you let me know that, hey, this your home and I want to come in your home and take over.
Yeah, man. I like talking noise with FAMU people, and they're a little delusional too. You start
Not as
talking
bad
about
as Jackson though. They're not as bad as Jackson.
these folks, if you start talking about that band,
Oh yeah. That yeah.
Jesus, they'll put you to sleep. They'll put you to sleep talking about that band along with their band putting you to sleep with what they playing. But that's a different conversation. We talking about sports. What they say band is a sport, huh?
Yeah, they FAMU fans never heard a note they didn't like. Let's
Yep.
just say that they like it all, man.
What else
But
we got? We got
going up next, we got Bethune. How you feel about Bethune now?
my butt still hurt from the beat down we got in Daytona this past year. Yeah, man. Bethune. So I think my thoughts about Bethune. Not lately been a good team. They were decent this year. They beat us obviously. But I think Bethune is in a good area for good recruitment. You in not Central Florida, but northern Central Florida, where you got access to Miami, you got access to Orlando, Tampa area, you got access to all this speed. So that's what scares me about the Florida schools. They
Yeah,
got all this speed in the state of Florida that they have access to. Um, but I think we got the right pieces, to kind of combat. We got some smart coaches, hopefully that know how to scheme well and be able to scheme against teams like these with all that speed. So
yeah. And just go back to what Coach Curtis Johnson said: speed kills. Doing killed us last year with just speed. Nothing special. It was just, hey, y'all want to press up? We're gonna beat you over the top. If you want to play back, we're gonna hand it off to our backs and they're gonna take off. So
You know what, Reggie? We wasn't even pressing and they was beating us. You know what? That's why I shook my head at this game because that was a hard game to watch in person. To travel that far to watch that, I mean, your cornerbacks are playing 10, 12 yards off. And anyway, we'll move on to the next game. Right?
heartache in itself, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, and then we got the last home game against the
The big
trying to
bad
see
Braves, man. That's what G say.
against Alcorn against Alcorn. Last time we played Alcorn in BR, we was for homecoming. And we got the big win on them. This game is the last, I say, regular season game because Bayou Classic a little different. But yeah, it's the last home game, military appreciation senior night Navy camo game. So this, I guess, this is a rivalry in its own. A lot of people don't know Alcorn is the closest SWAC HBCU to Southern. Closer than Grambling, closer than Jackson, all those schools. So you got a lot of Louisiana influence at Alcorn. You know, them St. Francisville folks up there, Clinton, you know, they sometimes go to Alcorn. So yeah, this is a big rivalry for us. Shout out to GSPN over there in the Golden Ham Review. They do a good job of highlighting Alcorn sports over there too. So this will be this the swag and the food bowl. So next year we probably will have a trophy. So for whoever
Yeah, y'all
wins.
gotta get that together, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Been
So
too long. Y'all got to get that. Y'all need a trophy for football and something for basketball too. You need
yeah,
bragging
yeah.
rights for basketball.
Yeah, you know, Alcorn was also almost in the same position we were in with firing a coach, but you know, I guess they had to sit down with their coach and kind of wrinkle, iron some things out, figure some things out. Looks like they had a good recruiting haul also over at Alcorn. So shout out to them. They was a little quiet with it though. They got a few guys in place, so I'm real curious to see how they shake back from last year.
They seem like us over the past 2 years.
Yeah,
Real
man.
quiet. Everything's secret.
Yeah. And then next we got that big bad Bayou Classic against Grambling State. Obviously we ended the year last year on a big win in New Orleans last year for the Bayou Classic. Hey, this was another question mark at coach was is Mick or I guess still is Mickey Joseph go stay? Is Mickey Joseph go? Is his brother go get a job and he go bring Mickey? I guess that's yet to be determined yet.
I
But yeah,
think.
go
Oh,
ahead.
good. No,
Uh,
I was saying I think Mickey is a good coach.
yeah,
I,
he ain't beat us.
I say this. I feel he's better as a position coach. But just in the recruiting trail, it is some battles that we had this year with Mickey and Grambling that we came out on the short end of the stick for. Just
Oh,
put that
what?
out there. Yeah, we did. One in
Right.
particular from Baton Rouge that we really wanted badly from Madison Prep, but it's all good. He'll see us in the Bayou Classic and notice that he made a wrong decision. But
Yeah, he
still,
would.
it is what it is. But as
Yeah,
far as just Grambling, I feel they had a great year last year. They came up short, of course, when they came. We pretty much
he
did what
ran
we
up to that big bad Jaguar. That's what happened to
we
him.
did what we were supposed to do in the Bayou Classic, but still, just year to year, you already know how the Bayou Classic is.
Yeah, man.
Great rivalry. Doesn't really matter what records are. We came in there 1-10 and said we not leaving with a 1-11 record. So it was what it was. But you never know how that game may turn out. You just have to go in there, show up, ball out because it can go either way. And like I said, it really doesn't matter what those records are at that point. The game is the game, and you still have to strap up, go out there and produce. And that's really it any given Saturday when it comes to this schedule. Even when it comes to a Houston game or a Jackson game, a fam, we any given day we can come in and possibly get a dub.
My bad. I'm trying to get the screen right.
Oh, no, you good, man. What
Yeah,
questions y'all got? We see something coming up.
you ain't seen the comments all the time.
Yeah, I saw a
I
few.
I just put them. Yeah. If y'all don't know, if y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all see one of Grambling coaches, the recruiting coordinator, Chris Peters. Me and him been going back and forth on Twitter and stuff, and he been throwing shots and I've been throwing back. But I guess the only thing that really matter is the facts. And the facts is Coach Chris Peters been at Grambling 4 years, and Grambling is 0-4 in the last Bayou Classic. So, it just looked like that's the common denominator of why they ain't won a classic yet. So, and I just leave it at that, and he can reply if he wants. So, yeah, man. But overall, man, I think Jag Nation excited about our coach, Coach Marshall Faulk. Coach been busy, man. Coach was at the Super Bowl rather than signing day.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people was not fans of that. With Coach being at the Super Bowl, but hey, if you got previous obligations, you got previous obligations. So,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah, I would say. And then also not to change the subject too much, but speaking of Grambling, I do want to touch on and give a big shout out to former SUD lineman Jalen Ivey. He actually was the D line coach for Grambling last year. He just accepted a role at SMU, so he's moving up to a bigger program. Pretty much, kind of putting on for Southern University as an alum. So I do want to give him a shout out moving forward as well.
yeah. Hold on just a second. Man, which player are you looking forward to coming into the season?
I'm really excited about this running back room. Like I said, I feel like this is we're loaded in a running back room overall. I do want to see how Holly is with a full year to actually work out and prepare for this season. Last year we got Holly right before the season started. So you're looking at a different conditioning program that he's going through right now. And coming into year two as that number one back, I feel he can produce a lot. Then you also have Bear Remo that he had flashes last year as far as what he can bring to this table and bring to this running back room. So him moving forward, coming into another year that he's developed and grown, because you got to look at it. When Remo came in as a freshman, we had him playing at fullback. Now, last year, you got him going for over 100 yards in the Bayou Classic, and you already see that it's just, sky's the limit for that kid. Princeton Kahee, I want to see how he kind of transitions over as well and gets more reps. You have Asbury as well that's coming in, returning and showed that he can pretty much give us some good reps as well. Jason Gabriel, of course, Mike Franklin, we've already kind of touched on and talked about. He's coming back. So just what we have had already on this team, and then the additions that we're bringing into this running back room, I'm very excited about it. Of course, our still question mark is going to be, has been for the last few years, quarterback. What we looking like as far as quarterback? I do feel they're still looking for a quarterback with some experience, but I also feel like they have a lot of faith in the guys that we already have. So, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a freshman coming out there and starting, or, probably, kind of moving guys here and there. And you may see a few guys to start off with, just to kind of see who fits the best and wins that actual starting role. So, what you see coming into week one may not be the starter for the full season. It's going to be some trial and error. You're going to see who's going to develop it, who's going to continue to progress and take that role. So I wouldn't be too discouraged on it, because I feel all of those guys can possibly, lead this team and push us in the right direction.
Yeah, man, I agree. I'm excited about the quarterback room. Quarterback, the biggest question right now. So it's definitely gonna show the testament of what's the word? I guess how good of recruiters your coaches are, your quarterback coach, OC, which is the same person. And let me say this. I guess you're gonna have to pay to play. So if you want a quality quarterback, you're gonna have to pay if they got any left at that. But like I said, I think we find another one maybe in May. We
Just
might got
speak
some.
to.
Hmm?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we may got some leads, but we don't want to throw no names out there.
Yeah,
We done had a lot of leads on a lot of. I'm over 5. I know I'm over 5.
Hey, I took some slack too. I took it on the chin. With the whole Zion Chris thing, I took it on the chin. Jumped the gun a little bit, but still, some negotiations fall through, and it is what it is. We got to move forward, and next guy up at that point. But still, it does kind of is going to test our coaching staff to make sure that you actually have to be a offensive coordinator. And that's something that, not to talk about the previous staff, but that's something that we did lack when you look at the past 4 to 5 years. Well, I'll say about 4 to 5 years, just changing our mindsets and putting players in the best positions that they can be utilized, as opposed to trying to stick to a scheme and forcing your players to stick to that scheme. That's not how you're going to excel. And that's not how you're going to be successful when you come to coaching, especially on the offensive side. You got to be able to say, okay, look, this kid is great this way. He may be best utilizing him in the speed. He may be best utilizing him in the slot. Let's utilize this quarterback in a option scheme. You have to be able to pivot and say, well, this is what my guys are good at. Let's make sure that we excel in that area. And there's some things that I feel like Coach Faulk kind of touched on. Coach Johnson as well kind of touched on, and Coach Light. They've all said that, hey, we want to make sure that we are putting players in the best position, and you have to be able to pivot sometimes.
Yeah, man. I just want to say kudos to this staff. This staff actually listened to some of us who actually send players and connected to other players. So it was kind of good to see when they released all the commits and signees. I feel like I knew 90% of them already before I guess the masses knew. Um, and just kudos to them because the last before these before this staff, the last 2-3 years, you would send a text and you would get ignored or blocked.
Red at 3:15. It's now 9:00.
Yeah, it's all good though, man. I'm excited about this new staff. I'm excited about the schedule, especially the 3 Houston games. You can't get no better than that.
Of
3
course,
games in Houston, 3 Jaguar games in Houston. Man, come
of
on,
course.
man. It's
And
baseball season. Okay.
Yeah, just the Dallas alumni chapter. Of course, I'm in Dallas. For those of you that don't know, the Dallas alumni chapter, they've already been talking about, hey, let's plan trips for the Houston games. They want to know what's the dates. As soon as the schedule dropped, they were already on it. Like, hey, let's go ahead and plan some buses. What we got to do to make sure that we getting people there. So, we want to utilize that and kind of push our kids and show that we there, especially for those games that's going to be in those areas that you have big alumni bases. You looking at Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, outside of Cali, outside of Baton Rouge, those are our largest alumni bases. So let's feed into that.
Yeah, Chris Claiborne was actually one of the first names I knew besides the people I knew. So Chris Claiborne was a former Buckets Award winner at USC, but he have a cousin that works at Grambling. He has a cousin that works at Grambling, and we talked after the Bayou Classic. And he was like, "Hey man, my cousin going to be linebackers coach at Southern." So I was really excited when I heard that one. I didn't release no graphic on there because I heard it was kind of up in limbo at one point. So I didn't want to post that one yet. But yeah, that's one of the you got a former high caliber player like that coming to the yard. Buckets Award winner. If y'all know what the Buckets Award, that's just the best linebacker in the country in FBS. But Chris Claiborne was like, I forgot what year he played at USC, early 2000s. So, good pickup for the Jags. Be a good experience for the kids to learn from a player like him. So, let me put this up on the screen real quick.
While you do that, I do want to shout out Ben Miles, man. Ben Miles and Ben Miles, Coach Cove, the running back coach, Coach Merchant, they've been very tapped into alums and getting their viewpoints on a lot of these kids, a lot of recruiting wise. So it's not like they're just going grab random guys. They're touching bases with a lot of alums and utilizing their networks. So, big shout out to them because it is somewhat different, and you can show appreciation to those guys that you feel like, hey, I can reach out to, and they're actually listening and taking account of what you're saying as far as just kids and whatever recommendations you may have. So if you do have any kids that you know of that may be in an area that may be, a hidden gem that's getting overlooked, send them over to them. They're not afraid to take a look, and they'll give you their opinion. Say, hey, he's pretty good, or hey, I don't think he'll be a fit. Like, they'll tell you. So, definitely, big shout out to them because they want to utilize their alums. So if you have any guys that you have in the network with administration, or some kids that may be coaching or anything like that, definitely feel free to pass that information over to those guys and let them kind of network and reach out.
Yeah, they get a lot of DMs every day. So if you probably send a DM and they don't respond, you could probably send it to one of us because they'll recognize us contacting them. So, and then I think most of them, we got direct phone numbers with them, so it's an easy text. So if you don't get a response, now the player got to be legit. Now this can't be
not somebody you saw playing pickup ball.
Just because your son, got a few stats. Nah, come on now.
Yeah,
we trying to win. We trying to win. We ain't trying to be a charity case. So, this is a fundraiser right here from the Southern University Quarterback Club, East Baton Rouge chapter. Let me get it straight. So this is the signing day pledge challenge. And basically for every recruit, you pick a level which one you want. For every recruit, you would donate $1. So I don't know I forgot how many we got. 50, 45. So if you want to be on the bluff level, you donate $45. If you want to be a blue and gold defender, you would donate $225. And that's $5 for every recruit and so on. You want to be a Jaguar Nation, you donate $450 for you big money folks. If you want the Faulk Era Elite level, you'll donate what is that, $900. So yeah, you can just, if y'all can take a picture of the QR code right here, or you can go on the Southern University Quarterback Club Instagram, Southern University Quarterback Club podcast Instagram, or Southern U Quarterback Club Instagram. Screenshot it, tap on this QR code, and donate to the Southern University Quarterback Club.
Hold on, Al, move that comment real quick. You blocking it a little bit.
Which one?
The comment that you got up is blocking the screen a little bit. Yeah, you had it in front of the QR code. Yeah, you good.
My bad.
But as far as this people, alums, it costs for some of these kids that y'all looking at and y'all want to come play quarterback at Southern University. Understand that. So this is where a lot of that money comes from. We got to donate. So when you see them asking for, hey, we got the NIL initiative, QB club initiatives, those are what we have to kind of help our student athletes with, because a lot of these kids are not just coming just to say, oh, I'll put on a blue and gold jersey and take a regular scholarship. We're in a different age, and so we have to, be able to adapt.
Yeah, know the school has a NIL link that you can donate to. I think it's on the Southern University Foundation page where you can donate directly to the NIL link. What happened to Benny Logan? I don't know what actually happened to Benny Logan.
I'm not sure.
Don't. Something happened and he's not with us. So, but like I said, yeah, you can donate to the NIL link on what's the thing?
I think it's what was it? I want to say it was on the athletic website.
No. Yeah, probably on there. You can donate to that, or you can donate to the quarterback club, and we can get it started right there. So, yeah, these kids cost. Especially if you want a starting quarterback with starting experience. I know a lot of people been asking about quarterback, and we've signed some quarterbacks, although they're young quarterbacks with no experience. But if you want a quarterback with experience, it costs to play. So, I mean,
it costs for them to play. Let's say that
foundation page. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at a kid. Excuse me. You look at a kid like Zion Chris's caliber. For a Southern, that's probably $100,000 quarterback, and that's for 1 year. And like I mentioned on previous shows, we lost another quarterback to UMass. And it's crazy, I'm from Alexandria. I went to Peabody. Peabody had a kid at McNeese who transferred to University of Massachusetts. So I hit up his dad. And I'm like, "What's up with Massachusetts? Massachusetts, the worst FBS program in America last year. What do they have over coming to Southern University? 25,000 people." Compared to UMass, you probably see 100 people in the stands on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
But they sent me the pay schedule. This offensive lineman who got some experience at McNeese, I think he got like $80,000, 10,000 a month. I think it came out to something like that. It's crazy because he had his first payment before he was even enrolled in school. 3 days before he was enrolled in school. So stuff like this is how we lose recruits. And they end up going to other schools, and it's not necessarily the schools, not the coaching staff, but y'all saw the movie Jerry Maguire, and y'all know the saying from Jerry Maguire: "Show me the money,
Right.
show me the money," and that's pretty much what recruiting is nowadays, especially for us at HBCUs. Now we have to show them the money. I know we lack money in a lot of places, but we got to be creative and think of ways to come up with to get money in our NIL buckets so that we can attract some of these more quality quarterbacks and receivers and safeties and linebackers and D line so that we can be competitive on certain levels.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
also, that's why it's going to kind of take a lot of that high school recruiting as well. So that's why I said don't be surprised if you see a freshman straight out of high school starting for Southern, because that's what we have to do. We have to develop them and hope that we build them up enough that they move on to a bigger program eventually, unless they stay all 4 years. But realistically, move on to a bigger program and actually be eligible for an NIL bag, and they can always look back at Southern and say, "Hey, they gave me a great opportunity."
Yes, sir. Anything else you got, Reg?
No, nothing much, man. Just looking forward to this upcoming season, the spring game. Of course, if you haven't seen some of the footage already from some of the team, Marshall Faulk Jr. is actually doing a lot of their media, so you can go follow Marshall Faulk Jr. and Faulk Media. I think it's at Faulk Media on Instagram. He's been posting a lot of like workout footage on the Instagram story, so go check that out. And you can see a lot of the conditioning that they're doing with the guys right now. They've had yoga, I think, yesterday or something like that they posted some footage on. Day before that, they had the guys doing the tiger workouts when they're basically pulling at the top at the road tires and everything. So pretty good content. Definitely go check that out and kind of see what they're working on. But I'm excited for the spring and see what we looking like as far as their spring game, and also just moving into the fall season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, make sure y'all follow us on social media. I'm on TaylorMade Q underscore on Instagram. I think it's that on Twitter, Facebook, Alaric Jones, SU Quarterback Club podcast. Hold on real quick.
Yes, sir. And then as far as me, the Instagram is recruits4.su. And then you got the Twitter page as well, recruits4su. Personal Reg at Reg McCoy on both. And then also whatever information that I can release officially. Of course, I'll put that up, but you should be seeing us pretty soon. We'll probably try to do something else. I would say closer to basketball season. What you think? Well,
Another show?
not basketball season, but like closer to the SWAC tournament. What you think?
Another show? SWAC tournament? Yeah, that's in a few weeks. So
Yeah.
I think we'll probably have a grasp on when the spring game will be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. You've been doing excellent. Reggie, you
Thanks.
have been doing a great job, man. I don't look. I posted a picture with the lady from Popeyes outside of Popeyes. I know that's how Reggie felt on signing day with all these guys. I don't even know if you posted everybody.
Man, it got tough after a while and it was hectic, but still, it's not just me. I got a whole team that kind of works with me. So as far as just the graphics and the imagery and everything, like it's a whole team. So a lot of that information kind of comes out, but it's just not one guy behind the scene. Like I may be the face, quote unquote, but still, it's a team of guys that kind of put everything together and kind of help me out a lot. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, man. This shout out to Coach Covington, one of our running back coach. He's doing an excellent job with our guys we have. We talked about the running back room earlier, but I just want to give him some flowers right now because he missed the show. But yeah, man. Shout out to Nori also. If y'all see the
big shout out to Nori.
graphics,
Big shout out to Nori.
y'all saw the graphics on the Southern University football page. She makes those graphics. And she was also smoking her cigarette too on the bench because she had a busy signing day too, man. So
yeah.
Shout out to all the coaches.
As far as Nori, that is all Nori. I even talked to Nori. I was like, "Hey, you want to, kind of send me some of yours?" And I was like, "Nah." Matter of fact, I didn't want to do that to her and make her do two. So I was just like, "Look, you got your thing. I'll go ahead and create mine." But big shout out to Nori for sure. She's a great graphic designer. If you guys need any work done, definitely hit her up as well because she does some stuff off the books. If you need something done outside of Southern. So definitely hit her up and reach out to her, utilize her because she is coming up on her graduation year and help her, kind of get some more business.
She came. Look, I said that because I was trying to read what's the guy's name? Hunter Scheckenbach.
Yes.
I couldn't even read it though, man. But shout out to her, man. Yeah, we'll be back here soon. Like I said, make sure y'all follow the social medias. And make sure you follow Recruit for SU on Twitter. That's where you can find a lot of the information on recruits, coaches. We just posted a snippet of a running backs coach, Josh Covington, on the Recruit for SU page. You can find out a little bit about him, and hopefully we'll have him up here soon so we can talk to him about the running back class and what he has planned for our amazing running back room with 10 guys in it. So, man, I'm ready to ground and pound. I don't know about you, Reggie. So
yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So everybody gonna have to walk around and find out.
There it is, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And go Jags.
Go Jags.